Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we are one more time looking for a replacement for the YouTube's Hangout on the Air, where you can do um, live streaming. They've eliminated that, and now you have to do. Let me check one thing. Stand by. I'm doing just this testing. This is what this is. This is testing. Let me check one thing here. Okay. Now, my last video, I talked about all the problems. I talked too long, but the problems I've had this week. And one of the problems was when I was trying to use, for instance, OBS recording software, I was getting feedback, not actual feedback, but when I talked into the microphone, I got my audio out of my speakers. And I struggled for a good hour this morning trying to get rid of that. And the only way I could find that I could get rid of it was to disconnect the speakers, which is a pain. So I thought for the heck of it, because I still don't understand what's going on, I thought for the heck of it, I would try this streaming software called StreamYard, which connects you to YouTube. And you can do streaming like a Hangout on the Air. All right, we got John. Hey, John, how you doing? I'm just testing this StreamYard software to see if I can use it to replace Hangout on the Air. And anyway, what I was saying was I was having a problem this morning doing an off-the-air recording with OBS in that my microphone audio was coming back out of my speakers, and it was driving me nuts. And I ended up very crudely just unplugging the speakers while I did a recording. Anyway, um, so I thought I would try this StreamYard and see if it had the same problem. And so I got right now, I got the speakers plugged in, and I'm not getting any of my audio out of the speakers, which is what it was doing a couple of weeks ago before there was a Windows 10 upgrade. And that's when this whole problem started. So, oh, thanks, John. I'm glad it sounds good. So apparently this is working. Um, and this StreamYard does have several options, um, some similar to Hangout on the Air, where you can have invite people and have them on your show. They're both either their video or audio or both. You can do a screen share, and I'm going to try that in a second here. No telling what I'll show you when I do the screen share. And so we're just checking things out to see if this is going to be a viable replacement for Hangout on the Air. Now, one thing I did notice on the first one I did over a week ago, the stuff that you set up in YouTube as your defaults, such as your, excuse me, your tags, um, your show name that you can modify later, and other settings, don't go through. Um, what One other thing that I noticed in that show is it used for the icon for the show. When you go through and look at my videos, it used the icon that's on my YouTube channel, not a snapshot of the audio. I mean, the video that I was just recording. So there's probably a way I can change that, but I haven't done that. So we're just trying to see if we can. Yes, this is the free version, John. Um, the free version has most of the stuff you get with the paid version, but you get this, and I don't know if I'm pointing to it or not. Do you see my cursor? That's a big question. But anyway, in the upper right-hand corner, you see powered by StreamYard. That's their logo in the free version. that's going to be on your videos. Can't get rid of it. It's not too much, but it's still there. Okay, I got Jeff, and it says we are on our way to take our oldest daughter back to school. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, so you, John, you tell me that you don't see my cursor. Okay, it's probably because I'm not doing a screen share. And there's Jeff King. Thank you for stepping by, Jeff. Okay. There are, like I say, there are some other kind of neat features. It's just one of those things I'm gonna have to learn how to use, and it may be a good replacement for Hangout on the Air. I'm gonna try some things here. Now, I don't have anybody else invited to be on the show with me right now, so I can't, no use trying those screens where it shows somebody else, but I'll try the screen where it shows, I think, me and my desktop. So here we go. And I see no difference. Maybe that's, huh. I thought that would have shown me and my desktop next to that. I'm not seeing that on my video. Okay, let's try. There's another option, and maybe that should be me. I'm not sure why that's not working. Let me try the one that just shows screen share. And that's not working. I recall when I did that first video, there was something. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, let me go back. So this will be my camera and screen share. And down at the bottom, there's a selection to share screen. Here we go. And it shows the screen is going to share. And I got the option of entire screen, application window, or Chrome tab. I'm just going to say entire screen, which is going to give me an echo effect of our mirror effect. So entire screen and share audio. Okay, I'm already sharing the audio, right? But I'll click on that again. But the tab to share is grayed out. So what am I doing wrong? Wants to share the contents of your screen. Choose what you'd like to share. And I chose entire screen. And it doesn't give me any option. Well, that ain't working. Okay. Why won't it? Boy, I did get this working in my first try at this, but now it gives me three options, as I mentioned, and the share button is grayed out. Why? Okay, cancel. Screen sharing was canceled. Make sure you click share on the modal and not cancel. Well, I tried to, but it wouldn't let me. So I tried again. Nope, it's grayed out. Why? This has been one of those weeks where nothing seems to go right. I'm going to try the other option. Share screen. Nope. It will not. There's two options, share and cancel. And the only one I can click on is cancel. So I do not know what's wrong with that. I believe it worked before. I do not know why it doesn't work now. Well, that's not good. So anyway, you're seeing my speaker and my screen. So I'm actually doing a screen share that way, which is not what I want, of course. Having issues. I'll click that later. Hey, Footlock. John, I like your comment. Do. Yeah, that's me today. That's been the way my week is. It's just been one problem after another one. And there's I should have said this before, there's not going to be any technical content on this show. It's just me trying to get a replacement for Hang It on the Air. And I swear I had the screen sharing option working before. Let me try something else. Let me go back to this one and then select share screen. And it's still grayed out. Um, the one difference when it worked on my previous try is I had a person with me. I invited Rob. He came on, so he was on same time. Maybe that's a requirement. I would think so. Um, hmm. I'm looking for possible options to get screen share to come on. There's a screen, gives you the options of what do you want to share. And I clicked on entire screen. Oh, it worked. Wait a minute. Stand by. Huh. Now, the only thing I did different is when I selected screen share, I went, and it had three options of all your screen, your entire screen, and then two other options. This time, I went down and clicked on this entire screen little window showing me, and then the sharing option got turned on. So that's working now. Oh my gosh. I like I say, this is not going to provide any technical information. So if I see people come and go, I understand because this is not really, not really what my show about. Okay, let me. The other beauty of this that Hangout on the Air option never worked for me is the comments. I I never could see the comments while I was doing a Hangout on the Air. There was a column for it, but no comments showed up. So I had to use another computer, monitor my streaming just like another user would do, and turn off the audio so it didn't have feedback. And then I could see the comments there and I could respond to it, which was a pain because that computer is the other on the other side of my office. This is showing me my comments right next to the rest of the things um, that I can do with this software. Okay, let me go look at the comments. Uh, John, John, thanks for the kind word, John. John says, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Well, I just stumbled upon it. And in Flintlock, I have just watched your video on high altitude ballooning, Radio Ham. Very interesting. We'll investigate those. Well, yeah, that one just came as a total off the wall email to me um, from one of the users groups I belong to on the internet, and it really looked exciting. Something that I was not familiar with. And I've since I did the video, I did some more research, and there are some restrictions. And I was thinking there should be because you're sticking a balloon up in the air, up in traffic, air traffic. So you got to probably reports that you're going to do that. So I'm going to do if there's enough interest, I'll do another show on ballooning. Klaus, I hope I pronounced that right, from Germany. And I noticed when I did that video, a lot of the balloons um, were over in Europe, UK, Germany, places like that. And I got down in the holler, says SW Virginia here. Okay. Tom, did you ever get the CB hookup? No, I never really did. Unfortunately, I didn't spend a lot of time on it because my initial testing, I could not get any traffic. I had a um, mobile CB antenna, which I tried. It wasn't in a good place. It was actually just outside my workshop. So it wasn't in a good place. It wasn't high up in the air. So I didn't get a lot of interest on those videos. So I just kind of put it aside. I'm not giving up. I just put it aside. Okay. For those who just joined, I'm just testing out this StreamYard to see if it can be used for a replacement for Hangout on the Air from YouTube, which has gone away as of August 1st. Let me, now the question is, you should be able to, even though it's kind of a mirror effect right now, you should see in that window of my screen the arrow, the cursor. No, Flintlock. I saw his videos. I watched Mike's videos about the L band, but I it it looks like you gotta have, there's quite a bit of homework. You got to make an antenna, stuff like that. Uh, so I really it didn't catch my fancy right off the bat. So I haven't done anything on that. Mike does some great videos, especially related to the SDR Play products that he works for. But that one didn't really catch my fancy, so I didn't even watch them for that matter. Um, I used to be into amateur radio satellites, and I had a huge two beam antennas on a rotor, both azimuth and elevation rotor. When my rotor broke, I just kind of gave that up. I tried to fix it and didn't have any luck. And in later years, I don't dare go on the roof anymore. I end up falling off. So no, I've kind of gotten away from that. I am interested in this ballooning stuff, though. Um, like I said in my video, it would really be exciting to have one go overhead and possibly land somewhere within 50 miles of me, and also track them because it was interesting the flights that these balloons take based on the winds at high altitude. John said I don't see it by watching on my phone. Yeah, yeah, John. It's the I can let me try the full screen share instead of the side by side. Maybe that'll help a little bit. There you go. Now that's full screen share, and there's my cursor there. I actually that was another thing that got screwed up on my computer when I got the Windows 10 update. Is my cursor got super small, so I've had to go in and change that parameter. Okay, John sees it now. Okay, yeah, that I guess that little window side by side uh, with my webcam and the screen share was just the screen share was just too small to see the cursor. All right, so that and we turn this off and see if I can duplicate turning it on, because it just like all of a sudden worked. So I'm gonna stop sharing. That takes it back to my webcam. Now, even though on this one part of my screen where I can select the various modes, I've selected screen share, but I found out in the last video using this program, you have to come down to the bottom and say share screen. Now, okay, so I did that, and the problem I was having earlier is the icon or the tab to share is grayed out, even though I selected at the top your entire screen. And what made it work, I think, is I clicked on the screen. Yes, that is the answer. You have to click on the screen example it's showing you. Then the share button is highlighted and you can click on it and boom, there it is. Okay, so I've learned something today. All righty. We got Joy D. Wow. Yeah, Joey D. I watched, and I'm sorry some people object to me calling her Dr. T, and that's because I can't remember how to pronounce her last name, but it's the doctor who does shows on space weather. And she did a show this week. She usually does a show every Tuesday and then additional shows at random. But in her Tuesday show, she said that the sunspot activity was coming and going. And so she stated that possibly the minimum um, solar activity, which has been going on all year, and it's an 11-year cycle, she said we may be coming out of that minimum, which means solar activity will increase, which means shortwave propagation will get better. So I hope she's right. It takes a long time because, like I say, the cycle is 11 years. So it takes it 2 or 3 years before it gets higher. The solar flux index number that you want is 100 or above. For the past 6 months, it's been in the 60s. So shortwave propagation has been in the 12. So I'm glad to hear um, you had some good propagation the other night. Gary Hodel. Now, when you say Leesburg, do you mean you're from Leesburg, Florida? That would be exciting to have somebody close to me. Okay, again, a reminder to the people that just joined, and I won't get upset if you drop out because I'm just testing today this StreamYard software, which is a replacement for, or one of the replacements for Hangouts on the Air for doing streaming. Um, you can use the OBS software to do that. I tried it one time, and it was kind of complicated. So this is fairly simple, and it does seem to have most, if not all, the features Hangout on the Air has, and it seems to be working better. I'm going through a learning curve right now, so making a lot of mistakes. And so I'm just rambling today, trying out different things. I did do the first video I did with this software. I invited Rob, his YouTube channel is 741, and he got the invite, came on the air for a few minutes, and it worked, that's one of the main reasons I want to have a Hangout on the Air replacement so that I can invite people to come on my show. All right, let's see. Oh, Gary does live in Leesburg, Florida. That's cool. Oh, and John, John is in Winter Gardens near Disney. Yeah, I know where Winter Gardens is. Great. Some Florida people. I'm excited about that. I'm always excited about anybody. Um, People from Germany, UK, whatever, that come on my show or watch my show. I have a pretty diverse um, subscribers list from all over the world. And so that's one of the things I struggle with of scheduling a hangout, or now it's a StreamYard, is when to do it. Okay, let's see what else is in. That's the other thing about this is the chat room or the chat window is working on this. I never could have get it working on Hangouts on the air. Alrighty, let's see what we got in the chat. Down in Holler says, I really need an extra antenna for the Grunnig 700 to receive more. Um, yeah, that's always a difficult problem because there's so many variables as far as your setup. You know, can you put out a long wire antenna outside your house? Is there any restrictions? Do you have enough room? The two antennas now that I use the most are my G5RV, which is a dipole, and it's 102 feet long. It's the longest one. And so it stretches diagonally across my lot to get it fully stretched out. The other one, which is much more convenient, is a 31-foot vertical antenna that the people at MFJ sent me for a review, and it's working many times even better than my G5RV. And probably one of the reasons is the tip of the antenna is 31 feet in the air, where my dipole is about the tip of it, which is the center of the dipole, is about 20 feet high. So that's part of it. And you can, of course, use much simpler things like you can use an in-fed antenna, which won't be as long. It's basically a half a dipole, so it's maybe 25, 30 feet long. And you can even use just a piece of wire. But the secret, this very basic thing you have to do with an outside antenna or even an inside antenna. Well, forget inside antennas for shortwave. There's too many things going on in your house, especially like my house. Too many electronics. You know, you got your internet. Um, I forgot what you call it. Internet box, whatever you call it. And then you got your router. You got might have switches for your router if you have too many connections like me. You have all kinds of electronics that uses frequencies that's going to interfere with your reception. So best thing to do is have an outside antenna, bring the antenna in via shielded coax to keep all those signals in your room from getting onto your radio. I cannot use a shortwave radio in my office where I am right now because I have like 6 computers running. I have the router, the modem. That's the word I was looking for. The modem. I have all kinds of my cell phone, all kinds of little peripherals, and they're all emitting signals trying to talk to each other. So it's a nightmare. Anyway, let's go on. Let's see. Yeah, Cold Cannon. Yeah, I'm trying this software. It's not software. It's a website. This StreamYard to replace Hangout on the Air because Hangout on the Air went away, and so I need an alternative for that, and I'm trying this one out. And this is only my second try, and that's all this particular show is about. Is what I'm doing is trying to get back to streaming because I like the interaction, because I'm no expert. And there's a lot of things I don't know about. Like I just found out about that amateur radio ballooning, and I'm looking for feedback on that. And so I like to do shows where I have an exchange of information between myself and my viewers, which you want to do live shows in order to do that. So let me see what else we got here. Uh, yeah, see, that's the thing, Flintlock, is it's great to communicate with everybody around the world. And by doing a show like this with live comments, um, you can correct me for one thing. I don't mind being corrected because I make a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes this week. Um, and other people that are more knowledgeable can jump in and say, uh, no, Tom doesn't know what he's talking about. This is what you're supposed to do. Or they can just tell, hey, Tom, this is how you make this thing work. And that's especially when I'm talking about something besides just bambling about this software. Okay, let's see what else you got. What is your opinion on the ICOM R8600? Thinking of buying one. I think they're fantastic radios, but they're expensive, kind of out of my league. I know um, Gills has one, and he's had it on his show quite a few times, and it appears to be a fantastic radio. Or is that no? He doesn't have the 8600. He's got a predecessor to that, and I'm trying to think who has the 8600. Maybe Scott. Maybe Scott has one. I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks like it's a fantastic radio. Um, I'd like to have one, but they're way out of my price range. Okay, moving on. Can use long wire, but down in a hollow, so not sure it would help. Oh, yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. Down in the holler, um, is it depends on your site of what kind of antenna you use. So probably for you, something vertical. Now, thing I did, one test I did, and I did a couple of shows on it, is I went to Walmart and bought me a fiberglass long fishing pole. It's 13 feet long, telescopic, and I hooked one of these wire antennas that you can get off of Amazon. Just a link of wire on a spool, and it's got a plug that'll plug in most portable shortwave radios. And I just attached that wire, the end of it, to the top of that pole, and that gave me a peak. The end of the antenna was 13 feet in the air, and I just attached that fiberglass fishing bowl to something like a stake or something to hold it up, and that worked quite well. It was only 13 feet in the air, but it was quite well. So that got it. I actually took it to a park, so I didn't have interference, and it worked really well. It really improved the reception, and it got that long wire up in the air. That's another thing you can do if you got a portable radio, is you can take it to a park away from electronics. That'll help. Okay, let's see what else we got. Uh, do the window pass through coax connectors work or use regular coax? I see no problem. I've never used one. I don't see any problem with using one of those pass-through connectors. I think MFJ sells one that if you have a double hung window that it's a metal piece, and you just raise your window a little bit, slide that in there, and then bring your window down so it's tight. And then it's got a coax connector on both sides, inside and outside. Hook up your antenna that way. Um, I, not very sophisticated. I just bring the coax underneath my old uh, Miami not jealousy, but Miami windows, and just tighten them down. And that, and then if it's not a good seal, then I'll put some tape over it to seal it on the inside. And that's how all my antennas come into my house. Now, in my workshop, I had taken out a window pane. It's like a 2 foot by 3 foot window pane to install a wall air conditioner. And then I made a wooden frame to seal that off. And then what I did is I just drilled holes in that wooden frame, um, because there was enough room left above the air conditioner. And then I just ran the coax through there, put some goop on it to seal it so it wouldn't leak. And that's how I get the coax into my workshop. Okay, where are we at? We got 8 people hanging on. I appreciate you hanging on. Here comes, and I'm terrible on names, Ahmad. Just showed up. Thanks for stopping by. We're testing this StreamYard streaming software to replace um, the Hangout on the Air streaming service on YouTube, which is gone, which I used. So I think this is going to be a viable replacement. Let me, I'm been using the screen share option. Let me go back to my camera. There's my camera. It's pointing down to my desktop. Where's my speaker and my monitor? And it's dark in this room. That's why it's so dark. Let's see. Yeah, I understand that your wife won't let you put holes in the wall. Yep. Luckily, I don't have that problem. So the other option, which is the window pass thingamajig, is a good option because it does seal if you have a window that will accommodate it. Okay, now we got VK2FBAJ from Sydney, Australia. All right. Okay. Oh, it's 12:30 in the AM. You had 12 hours. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for stopping by early Sunday morning, and it's your time. I'm just to let you know what I'm doing. I'm testing this StreamYard streaming website, and it seems to be working great. And I've been babbling, gosh, for let's see, 38 minutes. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I could babble that long. I've tried. I think I've tried. Oh, okay. Let me stop this. Okay, I've tried. I think I've tried all the options. In my previous one, I've done this only twice. This is my second time I've used this. So in my previous one, I did an invite of someone, Rob, 741, and he just happened to be at his computer and whoops, I just kicked the screen camera, and he came on. That worked. So that part works too. Screen share seems to work. Um, it's not taxing my CPU. I don't know exactly what the CPU is running as far as usage right now, but I don't think I have any video or audio stuttering. Only stuttering is just me. So I think it's working. Any other comments before we wrap this up? Because I think I've tried. Oh, there's a couple other options. Okay, in which kind of neat. There's a banner option. And, we edit. I had made a banner, but it was junk. So let me edit it. Whoops, what did I do? What did I do? Yeah, that didn't work. Trying to make a new banner. The other one I made wasn't that good. Or okay, create a banner. Let's create a new banner. Put our channel name, and then we'll add banner, and then we'll show. There's the banner. Now, unfortunately, and I don't know if there's an option, especially under the free one. I'm using the free version. Um, the text is too big for me. I'd like to make this a lot smaller so it doesn't take up so much of the screen. Let me go back to comments. Okay, John, right now, the camera I'm using is a Logitech. And let me see if it tells me the number. Hey, stand by. C525. Now, since you mentioned that, there are, when it's using that camera, I don't see any options under the StreamYard page that I'm using to control my streaming. I see no options for changing any of the settings on that camera. So what I did is I opened the Logitech webcam software, which is what I typically use, and it says the webcam is in use, but I was able to change the options. It's like I'll show you right now. I'll show you. Let me get rid of this banner. It takes up too much room. Okay, got rid of that. Okay, now let me go to, and you won't see it, my Logitech webcam software, and I'll change the zoom. So you should see me zooming in and zooming back out. And then I've got it set right now to autofocus. I can turn that off, and then I can focus manually. Matter of fact, it wasn't focused very well under audio. So that's a little another quirk, but it's not a big deal. And that's the way I still have full control over the webcam with the webcam software. Okay, I can 42 minutes. Oh, this is way too long. Anyway, this is strictly just a test software. What I hope to do is Rob, his channel is 741, did a video on the new software for the SDR Uno SDR dual SDR, and it now the software now has what they call diversity option, which you can hook up two separate antennas to two of the SDR ports and do some noise canceling. And he did a quick test of that. And I've asked him to do a hangout with me. Well, can't call it hangout anymore. A StreamYard streaming with me and have us discuss that. Since now he's the expert and I have not tried it. So that's why I want to get this working, this StreamYard. I believe, and I haven't looked at it too much, to get the full version, and I don't know what you get with a full version, except you can get rid of this logo that's in the upper right-hand corner, which says powered by StreamYard. You can get rid of that, put your own logo. I think it's about $10 a month, which is for me, because I don't do this YouTube as a profession. I just do it as a hobby. That's too much to pay, and I can live with a little logo up in the upper right hand corner for my Hangouts, so that's not a problem. Okay, I'm going to shut this down. I think I've got everything working. I think it's going to be my replacement for Hangouts on the Air. I thank everybody that stopped by, and have a great day. Any other comments before I close it down? Thanks, John, for the kind word. Thanks, everybody else, for stopping by. And we're going to call it a wrap. Now the question is, how long is it going to